everyone! Welcome back to our podcast, where we make learning English practical and enjoyable. I'm Audrey, and today we're tackling a topic that everyone can relate to: managing stress in everyday life. Stress is something we all experience, but with the right techniques and practices, we can reduce its impact on our daily routines. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Amir. How are you today, Amir?
Hi, Audrey. I'm doing well, and I'm really excited about today's episode. Managing stress is so important for both our mental and physical health, and I'm looking forward to sharing some useful tips with our listeners. So, make sure to stay with us until the end, because we've got some great advice, a grammar lesson, and 5 new vocabulary words that will help you navigate your daily life more smoothly. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to leave your comments and reviews.
Let's dive right in, Amir. Stress can come from so many different sources: work, family, finances, or even just the daily hustle. What's one technique you recommend for managing stress effectively?
Great question, Audrey. One of the most effective techniques for managing stress is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment and fully engaging with whatever you're doing. It helps you stay grounded and reduces the feeling of being overwhelmed by everything happening around you. This brings us to our first vocabulary word: mindfulness. Mindfulness means the practice of being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and environment in the present moment without judgment.
Mindfulness is such a powerful tool, Amir. It's amazing how taking just a few minutes to focus on your breathing or your surroundings can help you feel more centered. Another technique I find helpful is regular exercise. Physical activity is a great way to release stress, and it doesn't have to be intense. A simple walk or some stretching can do wonders. This leads us to our second vocabulary word: release. Release means to let go of something that is holding you back or causing tension.
Absolutely, Audrey. Exercise helps your body release endorphins, which are natural mood boosters. It's also a great way to clear your mind and take a break from whatever is causing you stress. Another important technique is to set realistic goals. Sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves by setting goals that are too ambitious. Breaking down larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps can make them feel less overwhelming. Let's introduce our third vocabulary word: manageable. Manageable means something that can be dealt with or controlled without too much difficulty.
Setting realistic, manageable goals is key to reducing stress. When you break tasks into smaller steps, you can focus on one thing at a time, which helps you feel more in control. Another helpful practice is to make time for relaxation. Whether it's reading a book, taking a bath, or practicing yoga, making time for activities that help you unwind is crucial. This brings us to our fourth vocabulary word: unwind. Unwind means to relax after a period of work or tension.
Unwinding is so important, Audrey. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, but taking time to relax helps you recharge and prepare for the next day. Another tip is to maintain a healthy work-life balance. It's important to set boundaries between work and personal time, especially if you're working from home. This means having a clear start and end to your workday, and making sure to disconnect from work during your personal time. Our final vocabulary word ties into this: boundaries. Boundaries are limits that you set to protect your personal space, time, and energy.
Boundaries are essential for managing stress, especially in today's always connected world. Now that we've covered some key techniques for reducing stress, let's move on to today's grammar lesson. Since we're talking about managing stress, I thought it would be helpful to discuss the use of modal verbs like can, should, must, and might, which are often used to express ability, advice, necessity, and possibility.
Great idea, Audrey. Modal verbs are very useful in English, and they can help you express different levels of obligation or certainty. For example, you might say, "I can take a break to relax," or "You should try practicing mindfulness." Modal verbs add nuance to your sentences and help you convey your message more effectively.
Exactly, Amir. Let's practice with a few examples. Repeat after us.
1. You should exercise regularly to manage stress. 2. I must set boundaries to protect my personal time.
3. She might need to unwind after a long day. 4. We can practice mindfulness to stay calm.
Great job. Modal verbs are a great way to give advice or suggest solutions, especially when talking about stress management techniques.
Now that we've covered some stress management tips and a grammar lesson, let's talk about how you can implement these practices into your daily routine. The key is to start small and gradually build these habits into your life. For example, you might start by practicing mindfulness for just 5 minutes a day, and then gradually increase the time as you become more comfortable with it.
That's right, Audrey. Small changes can make a big difference over time. It's also important to be patient with yourself. Managing stress is a process, and it's okay to have ups and downs. The goal is to find what works best for you and stick with it, even when life gets busy.
Speaking of sticking with it, another helpful tip is to keep a stress journal. This is a place where you can write down what's causing you stress and how you're feeling. It can help you identify patterns and triggers, and it's also a great way to reflect on what's working and what's not.
A stress journal is a great idea, Audrey. It helps you become more aware of your stressors and gives you a place to track your progress. Plus, writing down your thoughts can be very therapeutic. It's a way to release tension and gain clarity.
Exactly, Amir. And before we wrap up today's episode, I want to encourage our listeners to reflect on their own stress levels. Are there any techniques you'd like to try, or habits you'd like to change to manage stress more effectively? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
And before we go, we have an exciting announcement. We're launching a monthly contest. Submit a short video or audio clip of you sharing how you manage stress, using the vocabulary and grammar tips we've discussed today. The best entry will be featured in our next podcast, and the winner will receive a special prize.
That's right, Amir. We can't wait to see your submissions. This is a great opportunity to put what you've learned into practice and share your experiences with our community.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. I hope you found these tips, vocabulary words, and grammar lesson useful as you work towards managing stress in your everyday life. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share this podcast with your friends. Your feedback means the world to us, so leave a review and let us know what topics you'd like us to cover next.
Stay curious, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.